everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz. And JB is MIA today as he has to go to work, as this wasn't quite necessarily planned, but I felt like I owe the people that spend their time with me every Monday through Thursday at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time here from Roswell, New Mexico, waking up bright and early in the morning with me. I feel like I owe you at least a reaction as to what we saw last night as the Dallas Cowboys went down to the Patriots, to the Detroit Lions, 44-30. The score doesn't necessarily reflect the way that game went all the way necessarily, at least there towards the end. It was definitely a tight game going into the end. Obviously, you can hear a bit of my sadness in my voice. I am quite disappointed. I was pretty bummed out last night. Obviously, wasn't my expectations of that game, but man, let's start. All right, this is how we're gonna start it. There's gonna be two versions of this. My first version is gonna be the angry side of it, right? And then we'll slowly turn the table as to what is it? What do we have to look forward to as Cowboy fans? But last night, my takeaways from that game, 44. They put 44 on our defense. That's tough. Going into that game, right, the one stat that I pointed out was our defense going from ranked 27 to ranked number 3 in the past 3 weeks in rush defense. And I thought that was going to be a massive factor into this Detroit Lions game, because we've seen Jared Goff kind of crumble whenever they weren't able to get the running game going. And then, but the most important key factor to victory for myself was this team has to tackle. Dallas has to make tackles, and that's the one thing that they didn't do. I told Borba, I said, the only way that we lose this game is if Jamar Gibbs turns into Christian McCaffrey. And I got so blinded by my fandom. So whenever I make those takes, I always kind of say, it's a bit biased, as you guys can probably already tell, right? But I made that comment, and I did not give enough credit to the fact that Jamar Gibbs is not only Christian McCaffrey already, there's a possibility that he's better currently. Now, at their primes, you can make the debates or whatever, right? But same effect. Can have the same effect. And yesterday, if we look at his numbers, Jamar Gibbs, he didn't necessarily torch us in the run game. He went 12 attempts for 43 yards, right? 3 touchdowns, though. What a killer. But most importantly, this is where they killed us. He went 7 for 7 in receptions, 77 yards. 77 yards from the running back in the passing game. Absolutely torched us. And then Amar St. Brown wasn't supposed to play. Gave him a little twirl, put that little shot in his tush. And Buddy was ready, locked and loaded, ready to go. 6 for 9, 92 yards. Jameson Williams, same thing. 7 receptions, 96 yards. And then you look, this is the most important stat right here. You look at the yak yards, and it goes to show that we absolutely cannot tackle. And the Detroit Lions basically said, okay, we're two evenly matched teams. This was a playoff game yesterday. 2 evenly matched teams. And the Detroit Lions came out there and said, my players are more athletic than yours. We have more athletes than you have athletes in Dallas. And they showed it. Jameson Williams, 39 yards after contact. Amar St. Brown, 54 yards after contact. Crushing us in the middle. Crossfield. Jamar Gibbs, 65 yards after catch or after contact. That's insane. That's over 120 yards, 140 yards after catch. We cannot tackle to save our lives. But the tables turned. The tables absolutely turned when CeeDee Lamb gets that concussion. Scary moment. I mean, his hands tighten up, kind of doing this thing, right? Edward Scissorhands on the ground. Once that happened, it felt like it sucked the life out of this team for too long of a time. Dallas found themselves getting back in this game, and it was just a little too late. And I think it's the epitome of what our season was. Not sure if I'm using the right word there, but it sounded nice. But that sums up exactly what our season has been. Is just a little too late. Jerry Jones makes those massive moves, and they seem to be working, but it's just a little too late. The margin for error is just so small. It gives this team no opportunity to breathe. Coming off of 2 massive wins, and now our only hope to get into the playoffs is an 8% chance, which I think it's honestly 9% is from what ESPN was showing on the graphic yesterday. So really our only opportunity is the Philadelphia downfall. The Philly, if Philly does not fall apart, there's no opportunity for this team to get in, at least in a wild card spot at all. At all. I think we can definitely have a moment of silence for the Dallas Cowboys being able to get a wild card spot into the playoffs. And we'll take that right now. Let's just have a moment of silence for the Dallas Cowboys playoff wild card spot. But Philly can still fall apart. And I just saw a report, I believe Jalen Carter not going to play on Monday. Aaron, if you're watching, if you can verify that for me, though. But I believe he is not going to be playing on Monday. That's massive for that defense. Massive for the defense, especially because that defense has been keeping them in games and really have kind of been the only life to that Philadelphia team these past couple weeks, right? So there's that good chance. And I think that's what I'm going to hold on to until Monday. I think Philly has the opportunity to crush our souls. And I think if you're a Philadelphia fan, that's a perfect spot to be in. What better way than to have a Dallas Cowboy fan upset throughout the week? Like this happened Thursday, right? Last night. And now we got to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Got to wait till Monday night to see if those percentages rise or fall. And from what I've seen, I'm not sure. I haven't double checked this. But I saw that if Philly does lose, our chances go bump back up to 40% of us getting into the playoffs. It puts us a game and a half behind the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's very likely that that if the Eagles fall apart here, I mean the Cowboys can still get in. And I don't know that you want to go to Dallas and play this Dallas Cowboys team. They're two completely different teams on the road, opposed to playing at home. And I would shy away from really putting criticism on Dak Prescott. I thought he played a fairly well game. I know a lot of the talking heads right now, as I refreshed my X account before I came on, and it seems like a lot of folks are coming after George Pickens for his lack of effort. And I don't want to add to that, but when I saw that, it made me think back and go like, dang, there was a couple plays, like one of the picks, right? It was just a lazy route. And then I guess whenever they point something like that out, it makes you pay attention just a bit more, and you watch his body language, and it's like, dang, man, George Pickens does look like that uninterested kid that's too cool for school sometimes. And even whenever he's balling out, like, he looks like he's just too cool for school. Like, if you notice, he's nonchalant with the ball. Like, you almost worry that he's going to fumble it every time he's going to get hit because he's so loosey-goosey with it. So my level of frustration for George Pickens is like up here. You had an opportunity to go be a wide receiver one. You had an opportunity to go win yourself a $40 million contract, $35 million contract for a wide receiver. I don't know that your stock rose. I feel like your stock dropped, if anything, yesterday. I feel like Dallas Cowboys have more of an opportunity to keep George Pickens in-house because of the way he acted yesterday. And I'm not necessarily talking about him having like antics or going crazy on the sideline or anything like that. I'm just talking about just his body language when he runs routes. It's like it's not necessarily coming to him, or he wasn't the first read, so it's kind of like like on the slant. It just felt like there was no real pursuit for that ball. Gets deflected, gets picked, coming out the half. And what's crazy is coming out the half, they're interviewing the Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, and Dan Campbell is talking about how they got to come out quick out the half, and they got to get a turnover here. Next play, boom, turnover. And from that moment, I was like, all right, it just seems like the football gods want this Detroit Lions team to win. That's what it felt like. And I don't know if it was because CeeDee Lamb got hurt. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was cooking, boys and ladies. CeeDee Lamb was cooking it. 6 for 8, 121 yards. And really one of those passes to him should have been a touchdown for about 60 yards. But Dak, I mean, it was probably Dak's worst throw of his career. CeeDee Lamb has a corner beat down the sideline, and Dak throws that sucker out of bounds. And I mean, during the show yesterday, my level of concern was the fact that Vegas odds weren't changing. They were sitting at -3 for the Detroit. The Lions were the favorites going into this game, even with all the questionable players that were going to play, even with them missing both of their starting cornerbacks. And I told Borba, I said, JB, the only thing that concerns me is what does Vegas know that we don't? And really, Vegas just bet on the fact that the Cowboys were going to do exactly what they typically do, is we fold under pressure. We had a rookie cornerback playing yesterday, but I was told Trayvon Diggs isn't good enough to get his job back. Rookie cornerback, number 34. Never want to see this dude on my TV ever again. Ever again. I've never seen someone get torched so bad like number 34. I didn't even want to look up his name. That's how gross it was. Get this guy off my TV. Get this guy off my TV. That's literally what I'm thinking. Those are the words that came out of my mouth when I told my wife as we're watching this. Bro, and the worst part of this is the worst part. My wife likes football. If football was removed from her life, probably wouldn't care. Probably wouldn't bother her at all, right? I do this morning show, so you got to imagine that a lot of the stuff that I say, my wife gets to hear out there in the living room or in our car drives, right? Which is true. So she gets in the weeds of football a little bit, or at least she's listening to a little bit of football throughout the day, every day, and she's starting to buy in. She's starting to buy into this generational run that I keep saying we're about to go on, right? And yesterday morning, bro, goes to work in a Dak Prescott jersey. I might be the happiest husband in the world right now. At that point, I'm like, bro, bought in, son. She is bought in. The game's about to start. I get home. Went to go get my little baby from gymnastics. Got home. I'm hyped, ready to go. Game starts. We force a field goal. Feeling pretty good. My wife's like, dang, they just moved the ball right down the field. And I'm like, nah, don't worry. It's a slow start. This is a long game. We're about the long game in this. This is about us beating down on their offensive line, defensive line. They're going to get worn out. Then in the second half, it's game time. We're going to eat. We drive. We go on to their side of the field, but we end up kicking a field goal, right? I'm hyped. My wife's pretty bought in. And then slowly but surely, the life gets sucked out of me. And I might have turned into the worst person to watch the game with yesterday. At one point, my wife actually told me, like, yo, I don't even know if I want to watch this game with you anymore because I was just complaining the whole time. And then once she pointed that out, I'm just like, wow, I'm such a Debbie Downer right now. Like I don't even want to watch the game with myself. My commentary is unnecessary. At this point, you're no longer enjoying the game. You're just being a whiny brat. Like, get out of here. And that's what the Detroit Lions turned us into yesterday. I don't know how many of you folks watched the game with the Cowboy fan yesterday. I'm assuming that's exactly how it went. The experience that my wife had with me as a Cowboys fan watching that game was just, it was like we just saw it all flashing before our eyes. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. We're like, I enjoy climbing up that ladder. I don't necessarily enjoy the fall. But damn it, I feel a little more often than I should. I feel it a little more often than I should. In my sports bubble, the real world, life's pretty good. My bubble, where I try to remove myself from all the outside issues in the world, my little bubble, gets popped every year because of this team. But I continue to come out and show love as we should. That's the name of the game. That's football, baby. That's sports. That's sports, baby. But the most important thing, I think, that affected this Dallas Cowboys team, outside of not being able to tackle, outside of just Detroit just being more athletic than us, that was a playoff game we saw yesterday. And in Cowboys fashion, first round exit, right? But didn't realize, or my blinders were just on. And that Tyler Guyton injury, our left tackle, every time I bring up a team when they have their left tackle, mainly the one first team that I can think of is the Chargers, right? Whenever they lost their left tackle, Justin Herbert, I started dragging them down the dirt. But let this just be the lesson learned that when you get your left tackle removed from the game, that's the blind side. That's what do they say? Left side, strong side. Left side, strong side. Right? We remember that movie, right? We all came together as one to accomplish one goal. If they could do it then, we should be able to do it now. But Guyton being out, it was just too much, man. It was too much. Dak was running to save his life. Dak was getting hit from every side of the field. I mean, it was rough. And even with that, Dak was able to bring this team back to give us an opportunity. So I don't know that there's any type of level of hate that's going out to Dak right now. I haven't really dug into the social medias yet. Typically, whenever we lose, it's tough to watch sports media because it's just they just grill it down our throat, and then the hot takes start to happen. But and it's the worst with sports media because they have been building us up for this exact moment. I mean, just yesterday, after the show, I go on I watched First Take for the first time in some time just to see what their feel is because I'm like, I want to put some money on the Cowboys. I'm like, this is crazy. We're getting 3 points. Like, we're on a roll right now. This defense went from ranked 27 to ranked 28 to 3 in the league in rush defense. And you're telling me Detroit, when they struggle to run the ball, they're just a completely different team. Like, everything is pointing for the Dallas Cowboys. It feels like free money. What does Vegas know that we don't? Like that. So I watch the shows and they're having Dak Prescott MVP conversations again. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. They're setting us up so they can kick us right off the top. And granted, that's the positions that the players want to be in, right? I would assume that the Dallas Cowboys locker room, that's the position that they want to be in. But now there's no excuses, man. We had one room. I mean, like I've been saying this for the past 3 weeks, so I don't want to seem like I'm some delusional fan. And in a sense, I can be. And I typically get there about Saturday night, as I hope you do for your team as well. As you should. You should get excited about your team Saturday. come around Friday, Saturday, you should get a little delulu. Sorry, I was reading this comment. I got a little off track there, but she said you keep talking about number 3 rush defense, but failed to tell us what good team you stopped. Yeah, we knew this narrative was going to come regardless. Like I knew that this narrative was going to come regardless. I posted on my TikTok. Unfortunately, the Cowboys did lose to the Detroit Lions, but I posted on my TikTok. I said, how long before people start saying we haven't played nobody? How long before people start saying we like Saquon? We're just gonna pretend like this comment is stupid to me, Cheech, because you're saying you keep talking about the number 3 rush defense, but failed to tell us what good team you beat. Like, are we just gonna say Philly's not a good team? We're just gonna say that, right? Or Saquon Barkley's washed up. Is that the statements that we're making based off that? Rashee Rice trash. Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying? Like I get the Raiders stink. I get it. But Chiefs and Philly are respectable organizations. Like, come on, man. Let's not do that. Because then we could do that with every team. And then the conversations aren't fun. Because then you point at everybody. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Like what? If you're a Detroit Lions fan, do you tell them the same thing? Who have you played? Like, are we taking credit away from the Detroit Lions for beating this Dallas Cowboys team? Like, make that make sense. We can't just say everybody's trash. We can't say everybody sucks. We can't say everybody stinks. Because then it takes the argument away from anything that you can talk about. Are we going to just take away the credit from the Detroit Lions? Because what are we going to say? The Cowboys stink? The Cowboys aren't good? I agree with you, Santiago. Sorry, that was a long pause. But what are we gonna do? If you turn around and go talk to a Detroit Lions fan, and the Detroit Lions fans are excited because they beat the Dallas Cowboys, a team that was hot. But then if you say they haven't played nobody, then they ain't nothing. So then you go Detroit, like who have you played? Who have you played? Lazy take. Hate that take, man. Hate that take, bro. Terrence Mays, Eagles will implode and Cowboys win the division. Please. Jesus Cristo, por favor, mi amor. Por favor, man. Come on, man. This Cowboy team got me talking Spanish and stuff, bro. Tough. Terrence, I hope that happens, man. That's the only route we get in. And I don't know how effective we are even in the playoffs. I just want to get in the dance, bro. I just want to get into the dance. And this team is very capable of getting in. Like, this team is good. It's just a little too late. I think we can all agree to say that the Cowboys are a decent team. They're a decent team. I would hate to play them. I would hate to have to play them in the playoffs. I would hate to have to play them in week 18 or week 17 if your playoff hopes are on the line. I guarantee you Philadelphia fans are nervous to the gillies because they know that their margin for error is at 0 at this point. So that's really our only hope as Cowboy fans. Is Philadelphia falling apart? Will it happen? I don't know. But we'll know on Monday. I think Monday is very telling. Monday tells us everything. If Philly drops this game to the Chargers, I'm all the way back. I mean, I'm still here. I'm hanging on to 8%, baby. I'm hanging on to 8% because our left tackle will be back healthy next week. I expect Dallas to run the table. It's unfortunate that we're having to rely on somebody else's failure. But in this case, normally in life, I'm like, I wouldn't want that, right? I wouldn't want my success to come due to my to someone I know's failure. And these two teams are very familiar with each other, right? Love-hate relationship, some would say. More hate than love, but it is what it is. But boy, oh boy, man, I want to see a lot of my Philly friends sad as hell. I ain't gonna lie. And I know there's a couple folks up in here, right? Most of them are Philly fans. We jumped on because we wanted to see this delusional Cowboys fan explain himself. And man, delusion is a hell of a drug, and I get it every Saturday night. As I turn the page into that Sunday morning when the Cowboys typically play. But I will have to swallow this, brother. I will have to swallow this. This is coming from a Philly fan. Let's read this. It says, I understand what you're saying, but again, from a Philly fan, they only play half a game of football, then go ghost the other half. Kansas is not what they have been the last couple of years, especially this year. One of the worst years they've had behind Mahomes. Then with the Lions, they've been banged up on defense all year. So who have they beat? Yo, are we talking? I guess I'm lost on as to what the question is there. I mean, are we reverting back to like I don't understand what we're trying to say. Are we trying to say that the Lions are a bad team? That's where I get a little confused. I don't know. I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a bad team at all. Like, let's just look at the playoff picture, and we'll say we'll dictate it, or we'll decide whether or not these teams are bad. Let's look at it real quick. Let me pull it up. I'll tell you guys what's good. Let's just look at the playoff picture. Tough luck, bros. Tough, man. Tough. I haven't been this sad in a minute, bro. Sports stink, man. And then Steph's hurt in basketball, so I can't even really enjoy basketball. I mean, the Dallas Stars are cooking, so hockey's looking pretty sharp for me, right? Hockey, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I'm curious to know what you guys are like. For me, like football is like the peak. Like when Dallas wins the Super Bowl, oh, I can only imagine what that feeling is going to feel like. But my favorite basketball teams won a championship, and it's like, oh hell yeah! Like I feel pumped about it. It's cool debating. It's cool talking about them. It's cool arguing it. But it's not something that I would like necessarily get on a plane to and then go to their parade. Like guaranteed, Dallas wins. I'm at the parade the next day for sure, guaranteed. I'm probably doing the Super Bowl festivities for sure. But I'm curious to know, like, is there what everybody else like? Do y'all celebrate everything? Like, is everything? Are we just diehard on everything? Let's see. Ultra Cowboy, welcome to the chat, bro. He said the Lions don't lose back-to-back games at home. They are a talented team. I agree. If Shoddy preaches a culture of accountability, how can you bring back Eberflus? Scheme and development of players have been terrible. I couldn't agree with you more there too. And then Branch towards Achilles. That's gonna hurt. I think the Detroit Lions are obviously hurt. I don't know that I would want them to be in the playoffs just because of how hurt they are. But college football and NFL does it for me. Tyler Mannings, that's dope. Ocha, I'm a Knicks fan. I have not seen a championship. See, when the Knicks win, I assume you've had such a level of commitment where it would feel a certain way. Santiago, Dodgers fan, Raiders fan, Laker fan. So you probably enjoy baseball, right? That's what I'm gonna assume. Cheech, I haven't watched a Steeler game in a month, and that's probably why they are chanting "Fire Mike Tomlin" because Steeler fans are completely checked out. But look, my brain is going everywhere else. We were looking up at at the playoff picture, so let's look at it. All right, let's see. I don't think the Detroit Lions stink. I think that's a fairly good team. I think we're just being haters here. I think the Eagles also, that's a good defense, man. That's a defense that could go win you a championship. Like for Philadelphia fans, you guys are, which is good. You're so used to winning, right? You're so used to winning that you sometimes get blinded by a couple losses. And we've seen stuff like this, so you're like losing your mind because they're not completely torching everybody in the league, right? And Saquon doesn't necessarily look like Saquon has before. How much of that is the offensive line being fatigued? How much of that is the offensive line just being injured and them having to rotate players over and over again? I actually think outside of the offensive coordinator, That feels like a lot of the issues for Philly. I really think a lot of the issues is between the offensive coordinator and Jalen. Like if you watch, and maybe I'm not watching fully locked in on these Eagles games, so maybe you Eagles fans probably have a better take than I do. I would assume you do. But based off like of what I've seen, it's like it just seems to be that as of late, Jalen misses the timing throws. Like normally, when you would expect Jalen to hit, like there was one that I keep seeing go through X is Schmitty had a easy slant. Oh, actually, I saw it on Hard Knocks, right? Easy slant, boom. There's nobody in front of him. If Jalen just leads him, throws a simple slant route throw, he probably scores or at least gets like 80 yards. It's like those small plays. They almost feel like turnovers. Because then you end up punting the ball, then you give back possession, right? And it's just like, damn, you went from an open touchdown to having to punt. Like that does suck the life out of your team. Not only that, but like all of a sudden then you're starting to point the finger at the quarterback. And then you see the effort plays when they should be there, they're not there no more because you've lost confidence. You don't necessarily know if the ball is going to come your way and if it's going to be on time. And we saw that with George Pickens as he's getting crucified right now for his lack of effort. And you watch the highlights of those plays that they're pointing out, and it's like, damn, they might be right. And the excuse can't be that CeeDee Lamb was hurt, so maybe you had to bring yourself back to reality and lock yourself back in. Because it should just be, when you're a number one, it should just be a switch. Your boy was just cooking, went over 100 yards and a half. That's something you should easily be able to pick up and do yourself if you're a number one wide receiver. Now we just got lucky that we have a mini bye and that CeeDee Lamb is probably going to clear concussion protocols by the time we play next week. And we might not even need him. They might be able to rest him. But then he's going to have to be back for that Chargers game, which is when we should definitely expect him back. But damn, man, I saw a lot of George Pickens looking like Pittsburgh Steelers inspired Pickens. And it's like, it's hard to argue when you're watching those lazy plays, man. And I'm not on the side of we should bury this dude. But like Ultra Cowboys said in the chat, if Shotty's gonna hold these people accountable, it's got to be done, bro. He's got to hold them accountable. I don't know that Matt Eberflus. I don't think he comes back next year. I do feel for him though, because we are like, it does feel like we are in good positions. We just can't make the plays. So is it personnel or is it scheme? So I ask you, Ultra Cowboy, if it's scheme, then we get him out of town, right? But if it's personnel, then what's got to happen? Because I'm almost on the side of I'm okay with giving Matt Eberflus another year with the expectations that Jerry Jones is going to completely invest on the defensive side of the ball. Because we have the run game part of it down. We can stop a couple of nosebleeds. Throw a little tampon thing up there, clogs it right up. That's what we got right now. Our issue on this Dallas Cowboys defense is we can't guard for 5 seconds, 3, 5. It's the NFL. It's the NFL. They get paid millions too. And that's where we miss Micah Parsons. And it's not to say that we lost the trade, because I don't think we did. I think it's washed. I think it's playing itself out how expected. I actually think Dallas is ahead of schedule, if anything, which is why you would keep a Eberflus, because then now you can go out and go get a corner. Now we have the money to play with. George Pickens probably gets franchise tagged. or hopefully even takes a hometown, not a hometown discount, but a Dallas Cowboys discount. I don't know if you guys watched the Debo and Hayden show, but Joe Hayden was having a hell of a point talking about, would you rather go to a shite team for an extra $5 million? If that's the case, don't be mad whenever you're in a Myles Garrett situation, right? But if you stay in Dallas for $5 million less, I mean, get your money, bro. Get your money. But if you stay in Dallas for $5 million less, I think the upside down the road is better. I think you getting on commercials and ads and that type of revenue on the side, I think that will outdo that little bit of change that you would have gotten from up front from just the contract, just from your NFL contract. I think George Pickens is going to stay in Dallas. I feel pretty optimistic about it. But, man, we got to finish strong. We got to finish strong because winning fixes everything. And I know a lot of us are like, damn, we want to fight for draft position. I know there's a lot of folks out there that are like, hey, I'd rather lose out so we can have better draft position. No, I think in this case, this is the one time that I think we're wrong on that. I don't want to see this team lose. You want to see this team finish the season hot, feeling themselves, feeling confident about going into next year. That's where we need to be as Dallas Cowboys. We have to. Even if we don't get into the playoffs, this team has to finish on a good winning streak, because if it doesn't, the offseason is going to be dark. The offseason is going to be cloudy. The offseason is going to be miserable. The offseason chatter is going to be about blowing it up. The pressure is going to be put on deck. They're going to shorten it's going to get loud. It is going to get loud. So loud. But Dallas still has an 8% chance, boys. We still have an 8% chance. We got to do a show every week still, regardless. Got to face the lights, baby. I thank you guys for coming to my therapy session. What do we have to look forward to? I mean, all eyes on that Philly game. All eyes on that Philly game. I mean, I don't know what you got to do, boys. Do a couple dances, wear the same shirt you've been wearing. I don't know. Whatever your good luck charm is, do the little voodoo doll. I don't know. Whatever your good luck charm ish is, boy, do it on Monday. Boy, do we need the Chargers to win. And ironically, I've been grilling Justin Herbert about being able to perform without an offensive line. And now I'm relying on him to save our season with the offensive line that he has. Isn't what full circle here? Wow. I will say this, Justin Herbert. If you go out there and win this game, boy, oh boy, Texas will love you. Even New Mexico will love you. Please, Justin. Please. Por favor. And fellas, ladies, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I'll be back on Overreaction Monday at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Well, we will talk Eagles and Chargers and react to the weekend that was. JB will be joining me, and we're looking for a special guest next week, a gentleman from the Albuquerque Journal who covers the New Mexico Lobos. That should be fun. We should have him on, I believe, on Tuesday when Tim comes on, where we will talk college sports. As of right now, I am not out on this Dallas Cowboys team. We have an 8% chance. And if the Philadelphia Eagles lose, it sounds to me that it goes up to 40%, according to ESPN. Boys, we're still alive. We're still well. And we're here to stay. We'll see you on Overreaction Monday, 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Hey, fellas, don't forget. Hey, this is the one thing. My lifeline is being cut short on the phone for the show. The phone number for the show is 575-808-9307. My wife said, yo, if you don't start getting phone calls on the show, we're going to have to cut that bill. So, fellas, join the conversation. Your voice matters. We're trying to create a space for all our friends to come together to be able to have these conversations that we would have anyways, but just to put it in front of a camera. Don't be shy, baby. Come on. This ain't a place where we're trying to get a gotcha moment. This is just a place where I'm trying to bring you to express how you feel about your team or what's going on in the sports world in general. Is it football? We don't care. Is it college football? We don't care. Oh, you watch UFC like there is this weekend, massive card? Would love to hear what your take is. Or you just having a bad day, give us a call, 575-808-9307. We'll see you guys on Monday. This is Speaking Out Loud. Have a day. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See ya. Sad.